Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it's time for this past week's The Gaga on Drinks and Drag. With the resident Papi Chulo, Remy. Come get your face beat by the one and only drag beauty queen, Lindsay Aguilera. And the one and only troublemaker himself, Kris Avalon. So grab a drink and come on in, because the lounge is open 24/7.
Well, hi. Welcome to a brand new episode of Drinks and Drag. Darlings, it's your boy Kris Avalon. Yes, we finally here. We're going through some technical stuff. We live and in color right on my YouTube channel as well as on Restream, Twitter, where you name it, we live. So, yes, once again, as I'm going to say, my name's Kris Avalon, and basically, welcome to Drinks and Drag. It's a panel show where three of us, myself and my fellow contemporaries, I'm going to bring it in a second. We'll be talking about all the things pop culture, entertainment news, some political stuff maybe thrown in there. With this Whoopi Goldberg, so we definitely got to get a little political. So bear with us and welcome to another brand new episode. I'm excited for this episode. It's very action-packed. So without further ado, let me just bring in the rest of my panel. You love her looks. She's always giving face, giving face, beauty face. And she is my drag sister from another mister. She is the voice of reason, the person that always reels me in when I go off the damn rails, and bitch, we need her. So, without further ado, bring in my sister, hey, Lindsay Aguilera.
Hi, so happy to be back. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Boo, how are you?
I am lovely. I mean, I've been running around all day. Like, I've been up since 6 this morning, had to go to work, went to the gym, came home, had to rush to put everything together, get my notes, because I did not, sad to say, here. But I literally at the last minute was putting my notes together for UK versus the world.
No, I mean, listen, I've been doing the same over here. Busy week, side projects and this, and making sure we're on top of it. But we're happy to be here. We're missing one more person.
Yes, we are, and I'm about to bring him in. Ooh, I'm looking a little bright, but I don't care. I ain't got time to change these lights. I'm just gonna be white today. But anyway, so yes, our resident Papi Chulo, as he has been called throughout the show, we gonna stick with it. So bring him on in. Hey, Remy.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. I was like,
yeah,
oh, no, not to wait. Okay. Try to refresh and then come on back. I don't know. We've been having it's been a lot of audio stuff going on. Lindsay had audio issues before she came on. Had to refresh. And then now Remy's having issues with audio. But yeah, we're gonna wait a couple of minutes. And and then we're gonna give him a chance to come back in. But besides that, are we drinking?
We are. We definitely are. You already know my signature drink.
Casamigos.
Casamigos club soda lemon juice for the ride. Are you guys drinking tonight? Because the last 2 weeks we have not been.
I know. And the funny thing is I went to the liquor store because, we're going to be doing this Valentine's episode. So I got my rosé, But no, right now, I haven't had time to put anything together. So I'm drinking water right now.
Okay. Heard you.
Next time I'm definitely going to be drinking. I'm going to have to because, the good thing is I think Friday is a holiday for me. So I don't have to work the next day. So then I'll be able to,
Yes.
So Remy, what you drinking?
Pepsi.
For the third week in a row, because Pepsi last week.
I cannot mess with you guys. You guys
I've been sleeping all day today.
Don't listen to the assignments in hand, but it's crazy.
All right. It's my day off.
Yeah, I get it. So
let's get it started.
Yeah, because I do not want to waste any more time, and we got so many stuff that it's an action-packed show. So before we get to the Drag Race recap and all the good stuff, I do want to talk about some news that broke today, which is following the box office success of the latest Scream requel, Spyglass Media Group and Paramount Pictures have officially given the green light to Scream 6. Oh, Scream 6. I said Scream. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say something. But anyway, so returning to the next film are, of course, the director's Radio Silence with Matt, Brat, Nelly, Open, and Tyler Gillette at the helm, and James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick will be co-writing the screenplay. And I also heard that Kevin Williamson, who created the Scream franchise, will be coming aboard as well to produce as well, again, because he produced the recent one that's currently in theaters, and he will be consulting in regards of the screenplay. I know a lot of people, because I was reading the stuff online, everybody's already. I'm like, are y'all surprised? The movie made $100 million in less than a month. So of course we're getting a new one. Like, y'all should have seen that coming. But and I've been, I'm part of the little screen groups, and y'all getting on my fucking nerves. But it brings Stu back, like all of a sudden, all y'all are goddamn screenwriters and directors. But because these people with opinions like, oh, they should have did this. I'm like, okay, write your own goddamn script. I like the movie. Us unanimously, we all love the movie. So, panel, what did y'all think? What do y'all think about Scream 6? And what would y'all like to see them do in the upcoming sequel?
I loved it. It was so good. I can't wait for Scream 7, 8, 9, and 10. It's going to be awesome. No, really, it was. I like this last one. I want them to keep it, whatever storyline they decide to produce, as long as they keep it with the way they just chopped and killed everyone off, I think was so awesome. It was so unexpected and so like add 20 more people to the list so they can kill the first 15, because it was the hype of it. There were, if you notice, they followed that the Halloween trend. Like the last two where Michael Myers was just literally killing everyone in sight. Anybody he actually.
So you want Scream to be the sequel to be Halloween Kills, basically.
Well, I mean, because they have that same type of vibe where it's like, over the years, Scream, the franchise is good. It's one of my favorite thriller type of films. But, at one point, the main group of people always survived and everyone else around them got killed off. Now it's like, I don't care who you are. If you're in my way, I'm going to kill you. So, yeah, let's keep up that trend. I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought it was pretty well done, too.
Yeah, 1,000%.
So
Yeah.
I'm here for whatever they got.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Neve Campbell will be coming back, because every time there's a movie, she's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go back," and then I read the script and then she's in the movie. So I'm like, "Girl, you are part of this franchise. Everyone loves Sidney Prescott. You're gonna be a part of this franchise until you're like Jamie Lee Curtis age, 65 and doing sativa or what was that? What's that shit? Oh, Boniva. What's that shit?
Like what? I can't.
What is that? What is that commercial that she does that Remy always talks about? Thank you. I knew it was something, but well, I actually like this shot. This is cute. But anyway, something new. Hey, EJ. But yeah, I would like to see if they're gonna bring her back. I know everybody's talking about Stu should be coming back, but they threw a TV on his face in the first goddamn movie. Can we move on? Also, we know Kirby's alive because she was the one that survived clearly in Scream 4. She was stabbed in the stomach when they tried to recreate that scene from the first movie when she went to go cut Macaulay Culkin's brother loose and he had the knife and he stabbed her. So apparently we know from the Easter egg in the recent movie that she is alive. But I was hearing, like I was, doing the research, and I see people want to kind of do something where it's the survivors are all kind of coming together, the people who have survived the previous Screams, and then apparently they were saying Stu could still be alive, and he's been in jail for 25 years but never brought up, because there have been kind of hints that he was going to be brought back in Scream 3, but the concept was scrapped over, I think it was a mass shooting or something that happened, so they decided not to go along with that concept. So they could play around with that, him coming out of jail, them automatically thinking it's him because they got some killer out there who's pretending to be Stu or whatever, trying to set him up, and then playing that, well, I'm trying to make amends, but I'm not really out here trying to kill people, so everybody automatically looks at him. Kind of like how they did with Cotton Weary in the previous movies. So they killed him off in 3, which I hated. But not to get too much into this, I just hope that they come up with a good script, hope it's entertaining, and I hope it's going to be a lot more kills, because I felt like this movie, they ain't killing no people off. So
bring back
I'm
Emma
excited.
Roberts.
Yeah.
Then they electrocute her with the thingies on her head. So I don't know if she's coming back. But it would be cute or whatever. Okay, so moving right along, let's talk about Drag Race. Oh, so I saw Lewis say 6 is enough. Look, they said the same shit about Fast and the Furious, but as long as those movies keep making money, they're gonna keep making them. So Lindsay clearly wants Scream to be the Fast and the Furious of horror movie franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, so there's a lot of Drag Race news, because I forgot that UK versus the World Tribe. We got to talk about that too. So there was a lot that went on in this previous episode. Of course, fans were divided. There's been a lot of drama on social media. I've been following it, and we're going to talk about that too. So, in this previous episode, they did a Super Tease acting challenge where the groups were split into 2 teams, and they had to pretty much create Super Teases for the upcoming season of Drag Race. So it was Maddie versus Willow. They had to create their teams because Willow killed one the main challenge in the last episode, and Maddie won the lip sync for your life in the last episode. So there was a lot that was going on. Cornbread versus Jasmine, which of course I knew they were going to try to give Cornbread that villain edit that they gave the Vixen and a whole bunch of. I said, oh, we're not doing that this season. We got one trying to make the black girl look like the pouncer and the white girl look like the victim. So we doing that because I saw like we were coming for her on social media. Then there was a controversial lip sync and elimination, and a whole lot went down. So without further ado, who wants to go first and give in their overall recap of what they thought of the recent episode of Drag Race?
You know, I didn't think that. I didn't get that Cornbread was getting the victim edit. I think she was.
I did not get that either.
Yeah, me either. I thought she was just trying to say like, you talk too much. Breathe.
Yeah.
Read the room. Like, calm down. I didn't think that it was like a villainy edit, but I mean, I agree.
I don't think so either. But the overall, and I'm not saying like how they. I guess maybe I need to clarify. The way they did the scene, I got what they were saying. Because all the other girls was agreeing, but they let Cornbread be the mouthpiece, and they let oh my God, what's her name? The other trans girl. How am I forgetting names?
Kobe.
Yes, they let Carrie Colby also chime in. So you got the two girls of color going in on the white girl, and I knew like with that, these pressed ass white fans who think they know everything about fucking drag went and started going in the comments after Cornbread, and I did see that. Jasmine had to go online and say, "Oh, we're sisters," and it's the same thing they've been doing every season, where the white girl has to come out and go at the fans, like, don't go after them because this is a show, and they have those moments, and but the fans, the way they react, I guess, is what they were trying to protect Cornbread from. So basically, that's what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, go ahead.
No, overall, I thought the challenge was unique. It's something that we've never seen before. So that was fresh. It looked like a hot ass mess to begin with, but when it was all pieced together,
I did not understand. I was watching, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't get what was going on until I saw the final product.
Yeah.
But that was good. Runways, there was only one that really stood out to me.
And which one was? Don't say it's the dress that Miss Carrie bought from jail.
Yes, because she looked fantastic. She looked fantastic. She looked.
I mean, she didn't have to do much to the dress. So
well, I think that's what. And that's funny because that's what I was trying to tell Remy a few days ago. Like when I saw her, I thought she was flawless, head to toe. She fitted. She was good. I was like, you won, but you literally bought the dress out. So if you think about it in hindsight, as these
kind of cheating.
Put it together, it's like that's the aesthetic. Like you combine it and you put it together. You made it a look. You literally took it off the rack and you wore it. So it's like, of course, it's gonna be perfect.
I didn't think that she should have won, granted. But I do think that of everybody, she looked the best.
Yeah, she looked good.
Attitude, phase. I was just like, when she walked out, first of all, everyone knows every year for Halloween, I say, one year, I'm going to do J-Lo. And for years, and Remy knows, for years for Halloween, I was like, I want to get all my friends and do 100 nights of J-Lo. Like, Drag Race does 100 nights of Madonna and all these people. And everyone should have an iconic look. And look, RuPaul must have heard me. Somebody heard me. I should have never opened my mouth, and it was done. But the green dress is forever the number one look for me. I have so many looks when it comes to J-Lo that I love. But when she came out, I was just like, okay, bitch, I got you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you solely for that. But when we broke it down and we, analyzed each of the queens, that's when I no longer wanted to give her the credit because yes, you look good, but it's legit the outfit that she wore. You didn't make it. The concept didn't come out of nowhere for you. You didn't combine mixture things. Other queens, like, yeah, you could read some of the dresses that came out and you were like, it's not like it. But whether the structure was it or the material was some sort of what the garment was, then you'd be like, okay, I see what it was there for. But I was so upset with most of these girls and their wigs. Can we talk about these wigs?
You are absolutely right, because I was going to go in on the wigs, bitch.
No, please, let's do it. Because my thing is, you're putting in the effort, you're putting in a look, you're doing your face. Like these wigs, like Cornbread's wig, Jasmine's wig, what's this girl's,
Willow?
Why can't I never get her name right? And I have such a
question.
Orion.
Oh, there it goes.
Orion, and these wigs are like, No lie, it's literally what Michelle Visage says. Like, it literally,
Ooh,
you
bring back
opened up
that
your
wig
suit,
shot.
you
Thank
you
you.
took out your suitcase and went like this, and you put it on. My thing is like, you gotta let it live a little bit. Like, take it out of the bag like I do. Like, I comb it out, I fix it, I tease it certain parts so it looks like what would my real hair look like should I style it this way? You know,
But
tease
they
it
don't
back a
have.
little
You
bit.
don't think that they have like these things that what I forget what they're called, like the little mannequin head pieces
The
that
heads.
they. Yeah,
Yeah.
the mannequin heads that they just have around and put the wigs on, leave them there, and
Yes,
then like style them up, give it like let
yes,
it live. Don't just take it out the damn Ziploc bag the day of.
yes,
Go like
yes,
this and then put it on your
yes.
head and call it a look.
Yo,
Because like you were
whew.
saying, like hair is hair. Like at the end of the day, I know they end up there wearing synthetic wigs. That's what Kim Zolciak wore during the first few seasons of Housewives.
But
But
she
when
sprayed it down and tried to make it work.
okay. Okay, exactly. So when if you're wearing and I'm sure majority of those wigs up there or all of them are human hair, you need to
Yeah.
treat it as such. So you need to let it live a bit. So I do agree with you on that because I was like you're saying, and I'm glad you brought it up. I was definitely 1,000% disappointed with the hair on a lot of the
Hmm.
girls. I was
Hmm.
also upset that Jennifer Lopez wasn't in the studio because I feel like if you're gonna have
Yes.
someone of her magnitude, she should have been there, not be a satellite pro in that horrible ass movie that nobody's gonna go see. Quite as I love J Lo.
Hold up.
I
I'm gonna
love J
watch it.
Lo.
We're gonna.
We are going to
I'm
watch
going
it.
to.
Well,
It's
I'll watch it
already
on
there.
Peacock since I have it. I'm not going to the movies, but I'll watch it
No,
on
we are
Peacock.
watching. We are watching Miss J
Um,
Lo. But I'm glad you brought that up
I'm watching because
because
they
Maluma's
spent
in it because
they
no,
spent their
Simone.
budget.
here we
They
go.
spent all the
He
But
money
went.
on
He
Alicia
went. Wait,
Keys,
wait.
on
He
Lizzo.
went. Chris went from I ain't watching that show. I ain't watching the show. You know, I'm gonna watch it because Maluma's in
I'm
it. No,
acting.
girl, not the acting.
I'm acting.
No,
I'm
but I
acting.
totally agree.
I
I don't
mean,
want
she
to play
kind of
favor.
was.
I definitely don't want to play favoritism because everyone knows I love my J Lo. But what I'm saying is she is at that caliber, like who, like every like the Lizzos and the Alicias that has been on recently, where it's like you should have given her a J Lo episode, not just yeah they did the 100 Nights of J Lo and whatnot, but she should have been there. She should have been a judge, just like Lady Gaga had her episode. Christina Aguilera had her episode. It should have been
Absolutely.
a whole bunch. Like she should have went into the
Yeah.
workroom and talked to these girls, and then talked to them after in the Untucked. Like
Well,
give her that
It should have
episode.
been like Lady
the
Gaga, like
bare
Nicki
minimum,
Minaj,
she
like a lot of
interacted
that.
with
She
them
should have
on
been.
Twitter.
Wait, say it again.
I said the very bare minimum she did was she interacted with all of them on Twitter when they were retweeting the looks and everything. She was tweeting the girls and stuff. So at least the
Oh,
bare
okay.
minimum she did.
Yeah, but for those who aren't on Twitter or live tweeting and paying attention to all of that, it would have been nice for her to be there physically. Girl, if you
Yeah.
could make time to be with Ben Affleck, you could have been make time to be with them damn drag queens on that episode. So to me, it's like yeah, because whether people want to admit it or not, J Lo is an icon. She has very much a lot of iconic looks. You want to know what I would have really loved to have seen? I would have loved to see them bitches come out in some of them looks from the cell. Why nobody thought of that? So I was sitting there thinking
Copyright.
like.
Did you
Copyright.
see the recent?
I
Did
mean,
you
it could
see?
be,
It
but
could be. Oh, maybe you're right. I wasn't thinking. But I
because
mean,
those
if you
looks are
if
owned by the studio.
Yeah,
but if
because
you,
Maddie Morphosis said she was going to do the cell, but she couldn't because copyright.
I don't believe that part. That part I don't believe. I'm sorry. It could be true. I
Yeah, but based on
I
Maddie's
don't
track
know.
record, I mean, I'm not discrediting anything you're saying, but based on her track record with her looks, I was like, girl, you ain't got the range to come up with no cell looks.
Let me tell
Like
you,
you came with the inauguration look of all
her
looks.
look
It's
was
like
terrible. Her
it
look
was,
was
and like to
terrible.
me, and the funny thing, this is what I love. I loved Willow Pill doing J Lo 1998. Like when you ain't got no money, when you on a budget, you ain't got no money.
Yes.
You just started out in
Hmm.
Hollywood. And you pick a dress to go show up at the award show. But you happy you was invited. That's what she
Hmm.
gave me, and that worked for Willow because Willow's her whole aesthetic is
That's what I was
tacky
gonna
but
say.
making
That's what I was gonna say.
fashion.
That is very
So
much her aesthetic. So
so
it
that
would have
so
excused her.
the interesting thing what I loved about Willow doing it was that Willow picked a look that would work for her drag aesthetic, whereas all the other girls was throwing looks on and it didn't look right. The Cornbread's dress, the dress that she wore looked ill-fitted. It was like her ass, it looked like she had cardboard hips or something. Like it looked a little too ill-fitted in the hip area and the
I
ass
didn't
area.
like
It looked
I didn't like
weird
the
the way it
white
was
hair.
designed. Yeah,
It
so a
didn't look
lot of
good
the
on her.
wigs didn't work for me. But what was I gonna say? Oh, so who do y'all think in regards of which team on the acting challenge do you think was better? Were you Team Maddie or were you Team Willow?
Can I be honest with you? I don't even remember. because so much was happening.
Yeah.
I don't
I
remember
told you,
who was even on what team. When
I
I saw the
still don't even understand it. I still don't get it.
I
I'm
think
when
they
I
like,
were.
saw the supercut and its final, there were some people who I didn't even recognize. I was like, who the fuck is that in the background? Like, it was just a lot going on.
I would say throw both of them away. Both group, both of them. Throw it away.
Do y'all think this season's becoming like season 7?
You know, someone
Y'all getting
else said
season
that.
7 teased from this season?
Listen, let me tell you something. Someone else has recently said that during like the streaming services I've been like reviewing and listening. And I'm like, as soon as they started saying, I'm like, oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. I see it. And I hope, I mean, clearly it makes sense because as we all know, the next episode, RuPaul is going to rip it into them. So I hope something changes and they really bring their A game because not too impressed. Like on its
Yeah, the
own,
girls. Yeah, I agree. They're
looking at
not.
the show at the finale for what it is, like okay, I love it, I love it, love it. But seeing it as a whole so far with these 3, 4 episodes that's been on already, no bueno, no bueno.
Nobody's really standing out for me. I look at this point, it's like I'm looking at Willow as this is gonna be the Jinx Monsoon season where she's gonna pretty much take it all the way to the end and win. Because none of besides her, these other girls, yeah, y'all giving me fashion, y'all giving me
Angeria
this, y'all
though,
giving me that.
Angeria,
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
I am
Not
living
that
for
she's not
Angeria though.
in my team, but Angeria is like second win. I'm like, yeah.
No, I'm living for Angeria. She's definitely stepping out and impressing me with a lot of stuff. Now
Yeah,
let's
she's
talk about this. Wait, did I talk about my fashions? Oh yeah. Who did y'all think needed to be in the bottom 2? Did y'all agree with Kerry and Alyssa, or did y'all have somebody else in mind? Because I have to say I did not like this bottom 2. But go ahead.
I think
didn't agree with the bottom 2. I did
Yeah.
not agree with it. I was
It
not
should have been
into it.
Kerry versus Georges, in my opinion. I do not think Alyssa should have went home. Georges did not really give what needed to be gave, but when she was safe, I was like, okay. And I tweeted it before doing my whole little, oracle. Like I was Oda Mae Brown that night. I was like, I think it's gonna be Kerry versus Miss Thing, and I knew Kerry versus Alyssa, and to me, I thought Alyssa was. I was like, okay, Alyssa's going home because one of the things I know a lot of people saying that Alyssa outperformed Kerry because Kerry was just standing around being pretty, which she's there to do. But I think with the issue, what they said when I was watching back on it and watching other shows, I'm like, okay, so yeah, I may have a point. I think where Alyssa went home was because she walked down that runway, had her back to the judges, was taking too long to get that ponytail out.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
she tried to work on the the gun, and the gun pretty much backfired like it was we want to set up an Alec Baldwin movie. So it just.
And you know why I also didn't care much. I also didn't care much for the gun because on her runway presentation she used it already. So it's like it's not really like a gag prop or something that like I wouldn't have seen coming. So when it failed, I was just like, oh, it wasn't meant to be. You shouldn't have used the gun.
Agreed.
Maybe if she didn't use the gun, she would have saved herself, and Kerry would have went home.
Did y'all see the post? Or I don't remember if I sent it to her. Did y'all see the post that April Carrion put out in regards of the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think of what she had to say? I know I sent EJ the photo, so if you happen to have throw it up for context.
I did. I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and it. You know what? This is what gets us in trouble. We were just talking about this behind the scenes about another topic we're going to talk about later tonight. But it's one of those things where it's just like we have to be very cautious and really think about when we're going to throw a specific card, whether it's homophobia, a race, a minority, a specific group. We have to be careful how we throw certain things because the way April said that she's seen Alyssa be portrayed in the show and what may have caused her for the elimination, I didn't see that. I really didn't see it. And me coming from a Puerto Rican background and a Latino, I was just like, I didn't see it, girl. I didn't see it. Listen, at the end of the day, we want to root. We want to root. Let's say this. Puerto Rico has a lot of queens that are everything. And listen, Alyssa comes from the pageant world. She is very respected in Puerto Rico. She is a big deal. We get that. But you have to remember, when you come into the world of Drag Race, we've seen it. We've seen some really well-known queens and some almost nobodies get in, and it's a different ball game for them. So my thing is, whatever she thought she could bring, she didn't bring it correctly. She wasn't strategic, and it's what caused her to go home. Had she did a better job with the lip sync performance or in her own challenge, she wouldn't have been in the bottom. She would have been more safe. I mean, there's so many parts that play to it that were her choices. Like the choice, also what she decided to wear for the runway look. I wasn't a fan of it. And I love me some Alyssa. Since the beginning, I found her to be
so you didn't like the
attractive
pantsuit?
personality. I did not like the pantsuit. It was not for me. Just of that, I would have. When we all sit down as fans and whatnot, we also judge and we take down scores. Like someone's runway look, that's a big portion of it. If your hair is not on point, we talked about it. If your look is not on point, if your lip sync is not on point, it's not good. So yeah, I didn't see it. I definitely didn't see where she was coming from. I respect it and I get it because I don't want you to knock me down for it, but I just didn't see her point of view on how Alyssa was edited or the Puerto Rican queens throughout the Drag Race universe.
Yeah. And then I also think that it's also because like we haven't had an actual queen from Puerto Rico, not just a Puerto Rican queen, but from Puerto Rico in like quite a few seasons.
Yeah.
And typically they don't do the best.
Who was the last one? Alexis Mateo?
On All Stars?
No, but,
yeah.
No, but Alexis Mateo is from Florida.
Oh, she always talking about how she's from Puerto Rico.
Like I'm talking about.
He's about fresh off the boat. That's what you're talking
Kenya
about.
Michaels, the Candy Hoes, the April Carry-Ons, like the people who are from the island, who live there. I mean, was that shady?
That was shady. That was a little.
But I know EJ said he found it. Okay, hey Sailor Mermaid, he's in the building.
Hi.
So I met the gym earlier. Hey girl. But what if he brings up? I know he was like, what photo? I was like, ooh, girl, I sent it to you. But he could throw it up. But I'm also. But what was it? April said, for those who need a little context, Alyssa slayed, machine or no machine working. She fucking did it. So frustrating how the franchise portrays Puerto Ricans. This does not make sense. No. And then one of my friends, Joseph Anthony, who I know he knows a lot of the girls from Drag Race, he responded to this also. He was like, early in the franchise, the Puerto Rican queens was the ones to watch out for, dark horse that you knew had some serious talent. Then later on in the franchise, they made Puerto Rican queens like these filler and zany characters that nobody understands. It's always the same edit. Alyssa's edit this entire episode was similar to Yara Sofia in All Star 6. Meanwhile, we all know Yara is a powerhouse of amazing talent, and I'm sure Alyssa is too. It's just too bad we won't be able to see it displayed. Well, you will see it if she decides to do All Stars. So I was thinking, you think they should do an All Star? Well, it'd probably be a bad idea. A full All Star season with all the Latin queens that were chopped. So to bring Lanisha Sparks back, bring April Carry-On back. We could bring. I don't know if Alexis will do it because I know she's talked some shit about Drag Race too, and the portrayal of some of the Latin queens on the show and issues and the edits and all that stuff. But I kind of look at it as there might be something to what they're saying is how they tend to treat the Latin queens. Like not all of them come with a charo thick accent and with a language barrier and stuff. Although I will say I did love the fact that Alyssa talked about, and I knew she was going home. Now I knew she was going home because when you started spending a little too much time on their backstory, I was like, oh, Alyssa going home. And that's how I knew she was getting chopped. Because especially when they started talking about her father and finding the gay porn and kind of found her father was gay as well. So she was trying to deny it, and that's how they kind of came together. He was supportive of her and stuff. So when all of that came out, I was like, okay, she going home. But because change, y'all need to change the way y'all produce Drag Race. Because y'all starting, we starting to figure y'all out. But anyway, moving on. So we're gonna go from the United States over to the UK because apparently this week, and I totally forgot. Oh wait, you want to add something else?
An update.
What?
Fantasy League update.
Yeah.
So because the Puerto Rican queen went home, and she was on Kris's team once again. Kris now has Orion's story on their team. So now
my girls are going. Like all my girls are going home.
Now the Fantasy League can officially start. Now that people are actually going home, and we'll see how things go from here. I already updated the list, so I'll keep an eye out for that as the show progresses.
Yeah, awesome. I kind of wish we should have done it by points now because with Angeria's 2 wins.
Oh my god,
buddy! But it's too late. It is what it is. I accept it. I don't want to toot my own horn. It is still It is still early on in this game. I may be in the bottom, which I doubt.
Mhm.
But
But we'll
but yes,
see.
let's talk about UK versus the world.
Yeah, so we did something. Earlier this week, was it Tuesday? We went a little international, where we got to see fan favorites such as Bag of Chips and Cheryl Hole and Jenny Jacquet and my girl Jujubee and a bunch of others compete for, I don't know what the hell they compete for because Quiet as kept they ain't getting no money.
A track
They
with
get,
Competing
RuPaul.
for
I
a
mean,
duet with RuPaul.
A duet with RuPaul. That's what they're winning.
oh joy. What's the song? Okay. Anyway, so this episode premiered, and I have to say it was a hot ass mess. They did another talent challenge, but it was called the World Command Variety Show. So the girls got and they did basically what we've been seeing a lot of happening in the very first episodes, where the girls come and they provide us a little talent. Since they become a little fame-ish, they come out and sing their own songs, they do a dance number, so on and so forth. And Jimbo, girl, I don't know what that was, but I was living for it. It was the throwing that. What was it? Baloney.
It was baloney.
she,
Baloney.
she looked like a pregnant, like a pregnant piece of jizz. That's basically what she looked like. Dancing around the stage, throwing baloney at RuPaul and on himself. It was a hot mess, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But anyway, so we saw that, and there was a lot of craziness going on. Monique is clearly going to be the shady queen of the season, and I'm living for it. Jujubee, you need to step up your fashions, and your song choices.
How are you gonna say, boo? Now you're being a bit hypocritical. How are you gonna say you're living for the shade, but we don't live shades for another franchise? My thing is, I don't think Monique. Not I think. I'm telling you, Monique is
Wait,
not
what do you
throwing
mean?
shade. Monique
She was
herself,
being shady.
she's not being shady. She's being mean. She's being a bully. She came off nasty, rude, and unfriendly. And the crazy part is she brought Jujubee in the mix, and Jujubee was just as shady. And the crazy part is the other queens even said it.
Oh
They're
wait,
like,
she was talking about Blue's hair was a little crunchy.
no, we're talking about everything in general. And then the queens are like, isn't it funny how everyone came in, they were so happy to greet each other, whatever. Then the American queens come through and they're nasty. And then one of the queens called out Monet and said, listen, I toured with you the first time he was around Europe. We were together and you spoke to me very ill and very nasty. And you could see Monet being
so nasty and so rude.
so nasty, so rude. And I'm like, Monique. Like, I was just like, no, like, I don't know if that's the character she's trying to bring to the show. She tries to bring that attention, or she wants to be the villain, so she can then take out, like, am I the villain? Am I the villain? No, girl, you're being an actual villain. And it's one of those things, I've talked about it for many years, and I said it again, it's one of those things that I do not like when queens come on a show and you're just rude and nasty. For that, I don't support you. I no longer want to take caliber for you, because my thing is like, what are you gaining with the personality that you have? I don't want those innocent queens either who's just polite and nice all the time. When a shade is needed is needed. But there's a difference between throwing shade, being shady, and you just rude and nasty. And Monique Hart, you're rude and nasty. And for a queen who's coming back for the third time, girl, like, humble yourself. Because this is the first time in the
because
rodeo.
we liked her before, but I do agree that she was,
1000%.
she was likable in the other ones, but
Funny. I think
this
in the
episode
All-Stars,
is like this season, she's,
and the last All Stars that she was in the US one, her shade and her reads were like, I was like, wow, she is funny. You know what I mean? She did it with joke. She told the truth, but it was funny. Here, she's nasty. Like, the minute she walked out, she's like, I was like, oh no, girl, you're not winning over me. I also want to mention, was it Jimbo, when she performed the Say You'll Be There to do the thing? I have a strong feeling she purposely did a bad job so that she wouldn't send Lemon home. And
Me too.
also, it said it very clearly when she hugged Lemon. She's like, sorry, I'm not a better dancer. I said, girl, bye. You is a queen. You is a get out of here. That is a poor excuse.
She wanted Pangina to do her dirty work.
Right. She didn't want to bear that weight that she was gonna send Lemon home. But I'm pretty sure next episode she's gonna have Lemon's lips.
Yep. She's either gonna have lemon lipstick, and if she does better moving forward and she lip syncs again and she performs much better, what's gonna be your excuse? Because now the fans are gonna go down on you, because they're gonna be like, well, we thought you wasn't a good dancer, so how are you winning this one hands down? Because Lemon's not competition.
She's being fake and she's being hypocritical.
Ooh, I saw that. So she's another one. And I like Jimbo, but she's another one. Like, I don't like a fake bitch. You see? I got a rude bitch here and I got a fake bitch here. Throw you away.
Jimbo's playing the game. I did not Overall, I enjoyed the episode. I am pissed that the front runner for me in my mind, the one who went home first. I'm like, how the fuck y'all gonna send home Lemon? I don't think Lemon should have even been in the bottom. Um, like I feel like the bottom, Jamie JK was
I
like
agree.
right for being down there
Mhm.
because while I do like her and her entrance look was cute and everything, that performance was a bit of a mess.
And the
Once I saw the
outfit she wore
sleeves,
was bad too.
Yes,
once I saw the
agreed.
sleeves hanging out down from
Yes,
underneath the dress, I
yes.
was just like, oh no. And
Mhm,
then, like they said, everything she took off was ugly. Nothing ever
mhm.
got cuter. Every single thing that she took off. If she would have took off the last bodysuit and then she'd have been down into pasties, the pasties would have been ugly too. Like, so I think that she should have been in the bottom. Lemon, on the other hand, granted, the doors that Aja has opened, and
I'm glad
she,
you said it.
she did what Aja did. Because the minute that she came out on stage and they announced her, and I saw that little 3-step stage, I was like, is she gonna jump from there? And my
Very
friend started
Aja, very
laughing.
Kennedy Davenport. Like we've
Me
seen
too.
it
Mhm.
done better by those two, and then you came and tried to do something. But go ahead.
But I do say that her lyrics, I thought they were cute. Um, I think that she was a little like, they said that she looked a little. Mel C said she looked a little
Not as
nonchalant in the
involved.
face.
Yeah, like she
Hey,
looked like she
Carrie.
wasn't in it. Like she
But
wasn't in it.
okay, Carrie. But yeah, but that if you watch Drag Race Canada and you like follow Lemon on social media, that's how she is. She's very like nonchalant, very dry. So I think it was on brand for her. But I do think that maybe someone like Jujubee could have been in the bottom.
Yeah,
Not to say that Jujubee should have went home, but I think she could have been in the bottom because she was
yeah.
wearing. And I wasn't gagged by her song, nor was I gagged by her look
It
at
was
the
very.
end.
Right,
I thought we were going to see a
but
repeat of Queen of the Universe.
but it
Right.
was her song, and she was actually singing to it. And
I get that. I get that. And I get.
I've noticed when it comes to the All Stars, if you notice, some of these girls, like, even though they're singing their own songs, I look at them like, oh, it's not their best voice. But I
Yeah,
noticed the judges give them more
Lemon did her
points
own song as
because
well.
you did your own job. Yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Lemon did her. Yeah.
Lemon did, but she wasn't really singing. I think she was lip syncing to her song. I don't remember her
No,
having a mic.
she. I think she had like a. But
Mm.
even I also production. I didn't like the quality of the people who were live singing because Bag of Chips sounded weird. It sounded like there were two different voices. Granted, I know
yeah. It
one was
felt
a
like their
backtrack.
their backing track was louder than them.
Yeah,
Mm.
And
and
it
like the
wasn't,
same
and
with
then they were,
Jujubee.
it was off. Like they weren't like maybe I can't hear myself. You know, how a lot of times when you have your
Right.
inner ear in and you're trying to sing to the track, and then it's like it was slightly yeah, it was a mess. I don't know, like come
Well,
on, UK, y'all got no budget over there. Like come on, y'all got 9 of the biggest queens on the planet doing a show, and it's like y'all don't want to put no money
Yeah,
into shit. Like y'all don't want to spend
but
no money. Y'all don't want to give people
but
no prizes.
they're
So if
not.
y'all do a
They're
season
also not
two,
getting
bitch,
money.
can we move this to the US or somewhere where y'all can get a coin? Because I do not see the point of doing a show where I could be international queen of the world and I'm not getting anything, like no
yeah.
compensation. That's why I'm living for the memes where they got the empty box.
But isn't it? But isn't it?
That
Isn't that a rule? Like in UK, you can't win prizes on a
Yeah.
reality TV show,
It's
which is
stupid.
why
stupid.
I'm
But
like,
that's why I said move it.
yeah, yeah.
But
Move it
either
to another
way,
country.
overall, I thought the episode was good. Mad that the person went home, but now I have to find a new person to hope that they take the crown.
Mhm.
But I'm excited for next week.
Yeah, same. Um, yeah, I love Jujubee. That's my sister. That's my girl. But I need you to your style of songs, the ballads, is boring. Like I need you to kind of change it up. Like do some cliche gay dance music. Like you need something with a beat. Because when she doesn't have a bad voice, you're a pop singer, but you keep picking these songs and the songs just don't fit what it is that you're doing. There was this thing that I wanted to bring up because I have Miss Pagina Heels here, where I was reading that Pagina went and did an Instagram live recently, and she was talking about the overall harassment and bullying she's been getting online. So it's a lot of stuff that she's been getting, and then Kerry Colby, where I have a picture of her and Cornbread, they're dealing with a lot of harassment and stuff from these fans, and it's like, you know what? Regardless of how y'all feel about these outcomes, and I think she's getting it because Lemon went home. So here's the thing, people. I know it's hard for you to understand, but it's a show. It's a game. And Rude, you're a lazy ass bitch. I live for you, but you lazy. Stop having these girls doing your job for you. Like you're literally, even though you in the UK, you're getting some checks somewhere. Like you're an executive producer, you created this franchise. Stop making these queens do your job for you. Your job is not to just sit there and be pretty, because it takes about 4 hours to get the look that way. But nevertheless, stop having these girls do your job and having them eliminate people, and then they're getting all this hate, and your ass stay radio silent. So for the most part, I enjoyed the episode. I think it's thoroughly entertaining, but the way like the UK and y'all rules, I just think it's stupid. I did love Jimbo's chess piece queen look. The Gaumont was looking fabulous, although I did hear people saying there was some black face that was going on with the, I mean, technically, yes, her face was black, but I don't think it was black face that she was doing. So there were a lot of looks on the panel that I thought was cute or whatever. I did not like, what did I say? Oh, I love Blue Hydrangea's performance. It was giving me very much Madonna, Give Me All Your Lovin'. I thought of that based on the way it sounded. What did y'all think about Melanie C as the guest judge? We ain't talking about that.
Yes. Go ahead, Remy. Say your piece because I'm gonna probably just add on.
I love that she was like jokingly shady about Jerry and Posh. I like that she was actually giving constructive criticism. She was giving good. I'm not to say that she's like a master in drag, but she was like, okay, I didn't get this look. Like it wasn't on brand with the theme. Like she spoke from a place where she knew what she was talking about to an extent. And I feel like overall she did a good job. One of my favorite guest judges up there with like the Nicki Minaj episode and just like I enjoyed her as a judge, and if she were to come back, I wouldn't be mad. But when are they gonna bring Posh Spice now? Because they got everybody. They got 4 out of the 5 rings of the Infinity Gauntlet. They need Posh Spice for next season of UK.
She acts like she's too damn good for anything. So
she is. She's booked and busy. But I mean, RuPaul's Drag Race is it's fashion. No, but I agree with like Melanie C was, she'd be perfect to be a judge somewhere, whether it's The Voice or maybe for Drag Race UK or something. You can tell in the little bit of time she was actually invested. You can always tell when a judge is there that generally happen to be there or they know the show and they're playing the 2 cents. And Melanie C was one of those judges that I've seen throughout the years that knew the show, knew what she was getting on, did the assignment, participated in the jokes, threw shade, tried to make it funny. Even when Rue was like doing the order, like, what are we ordering today? And everybody was participating. She also did the skit with them. And when Lemon was going home, you saw in her face whether she felt like Lemon shouldn't have been voided or just felt like, damn, I know what this is like being on a stage, trying to prove yourself and all that hard work, now you're being sent home. You saw it in Melanie's face. And those kind of things I love when judges get into it. Any special guest judge. You're not there to promote something. You're actually there and, yes, promote something, but be part of the show. Be part of what we're all doing. Because I think
which is kind of the opposite of
judge.
Which is kind of what the opposite of what J-Lo did. She took the time, that little 2-second video, to promote her movie rather than really interacting and being engaged as part of it. So even when they've had celebrity judges come on and speak to her, like Scarlett Johansson, whatever, they really took the time to interact with them. I don't know if it was pre-taped or they did some kind of thing where it made it seem like she was talking to them and they were talking back or whatever.
No, it looked pre-taped. No, it looked very pre-taped. It looked like they sat her down, they told, hey, read this and walk out. And listen, for what it's worth, I have a strong feeling that it was a booking thing. It was one of those things where it's like, hey, can you do this for RuPaul Drag Race and we'll promote your movie? And she did it. She's not at fault for that. But what I'm saying is I wish they would have not asked her to do it and actually ask her for a time when she's more available so that she can actually have that episode.
Exactly. So, yeah. So fans, can we just start watching the show and enjoying it for what it is and stop texting and tweeting people like these fucking drag queens? Because I'm sure if y'all went to DragCon and y'all stood in a long ass line to meet them in person, y'all wouldn't have the balls to say the shit you say on Twitter. So, and Instagram. So, speaking of drama and harassment within the drag world, so Kylie Jenner has been accused of copying Trixie Mattel's makeup line after fans noticed similarities between the pair's lip glosses. The reality star gave fans a sneak peek of Kylie's Cosmetics' upcoming Valentine's collection on Instagram, which included heart-shaped packaging for a range of lip glosses. So fans of Mattel, who exploded to fame after appearing on RuPaul's Drag Race and is a current judge on Queen of the Universe, criticized the collection for bearing similarities to her line, Trixie Cosmetics, which the drag icon began in 2019. One Twitter user said, the way Kylie Jenner has literally never had an original idea or concept and relies on the brilliance of queer people and their ideas to profit off of and pretend they're her own concepts. So yeah, I looked at the photo. I mean, I looked at the stuff, and Trixie did break her silence and address the situation, but she was joking, basically just applying a lipstick. I don't know if we have the video or whatever, but I'm sure you could just check her Instagram for that.
Yeah.
I know
Even the
Lindsay
promo
definitely
shots
has
were
something
the
to say.
same.
Wait, say it again.
The promo shots as well were the same. Like there was a picture of like Trixie laying down with like a heart over her, and Kylie had the same thing with a heart over her face. And it was just like, ooh.
Listen, I am.
Okay, no
I
worries.
love me Kardashians. I love one of the Jenners. I'm not a full fan of Jenners, but listen, especially with Kylie, I'm not surprised. Anything they do, they're going to get hated on. Whether something bad happens to them, we're gonna shit on them. Whether something good happens to them, we're still gonna shit on them. So we're never gonna win. Even on our time here, whenever we bring someone up with the Kardashians, most of the negative feedbacks we say because we don't care for the girls. But if you look back on it, this is one of those things where and I'm glad Trixie spoke because I was waiting for her to say something. Trixie is not the first person to have created that specific style. So Kylie Jenner is releasing this month for Valentine. She does a seasonal makeup, heart palette shaped lip kits and eyeshadow. Hearts on Valentine's Day, like Miranda Priestley would say, shocking. Like she's not the first person to have done this. There's over 100 brands that have signature style of hearts, and a lot of them look the same as Kylie's, Trixie's, and stuff. Just to give you a few names, because
Mhm.
I have to take these pictures down. We
Okay.
have this popular brand called Kaja Love, where they range their makeups between $18 to $45. Their lip kits are very much the same. There's actual heart shaped um lip kits, and there's one that looks just like Trixie's and Kylie Jenner's. You have Too Faced Cosmetics, a very, very famous brand, who also has the same exact look and products. YSL, Halika, which is a good brand that I like. They also have lipstick, matte sticks, and lip gloss in the shape of hearts. So, and I'm looking at most of these looks, and they're all literally the same. Jeffree Star also did a limited edition heart shaped blood sugar lipsticks. And it's this kind of thing where it's like, which is why I was so happy we're going to talk about it, because my thing is like, you want to hate on this group, on this family so hard, but it's like you're hating just to hate. Like, actually, that's why a lot of times when they do mistakes, I'm like, you made a mistake, boo. I support what you're like. I support what everyone else is saying. But like something like this, just like you come down on Kylie, and like, oh, you're robbing this and you're doing this and you're taking from the drag queen community. But Trixie herself didn't even create that. That's not
Mhm.
something that's hers. What she does though, the only difference is that Trixie's makeup, since her makeup has been made, it usually consists of a heart. Like that's her symbol. But the heart shape and for lipstick or for whatever anywhere in the makeup community has been done over and over and over by even bigger makeup brands than Kylie and Trixie's. So my thing is like, you have to be careful doing something like that, whether you want it to be funny or whatnot. This goes back to what I'm saying. You have to be careful what content you produce and what you say out there because it can hurt the next person. And that's what I have to say about that.
Kylie saw episode 1 of Drag Race this season and was like, she ain't got to reinvent the wheel.
Right, you ain't got to invent the wheel. How
If
much
it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
RuPaul probably went into her office and was like, "Don't reinvent the wheel. Use these heart shaped sticks. You know what I mean? Just do it." But I've calmed down more after Trixie has responded. And she said, "It was a joke. It's what I was just looking out for it." But before that happened, that actually made my blood boil. Chris, you already knew because I was like,
I
as
know
soon as we were
because the
talking
minute
about it, I was like, I
I
got something to
know
say. I'm gonna
because
shut it
I
down.
sent you I sent we all got it. I sent it in the group chat,
Yeah.
and the minute was like, oh, I got something to say. I was like, oh, it's gonna be messy. But it's funny
Shut it
because
down.
I was looking at this whole thing and like, I don't know about makeup. I don't beat my face. I was like, this is Lindsay's area of expertise. So I was gonna let her take it, but I was like, I need to also do a little research and understand what's going on and stuff. And upon further research, I'm gonna have to come to Kylie's defense now. Quiet as it's kept, we're gonna point out there have been some shady shit she's done in the past. Like you
Yes.
tried it when you tried to trademark the Kylie name when Kylie
Yes.
Minogue existed long before you even a thought in your
Yes.
daddy's I don't know what she got now, but
Yeah.
back in the day when she made you, she had balls
Yes.
and a dick. So
Agreed.
all of that, you don't know. No, Kylie is the bigger icon. She is an international superstar. You're not gonna try to trademark and respect the Kylie name, bitch. But anyway, so let me bring it back. So with that being put to the side, and the accusations that the family is notorious for stealing from the littler person, I will say this is that this font has been used and overused so many times. The designs, nothing new is under the sun, especially when it comes to fashion. They all recycle the same shit every couple of years. And then people come in and start saying certain things like, oh, you're copying on this one, you're copying on that. So I do agree with you that people out here hating, you're literally just grasping at straws, whatever. And look, Trixie is not upset about this. This is publicity for her. So with all of this drama coming up, this is a way for the girls to be like, oh, I don't like Kylie, so I'm going to go and I'm going to support Trixie Mattel because I wasn't paying attention to all of that earlier. So now I'm going to give Trixie some of my coins to spite her. So that works. And also we should point out, didn't Kylie sell, what was it, 51% of her company? Or I don't know how much, I just want to say that because
she did though. She
sold her company, so therefore Kylie might not even be aware of the different changes and fonts and this and the other. She sold the company. She probably gets a percentage. She's not thinking about all of that extra business stuff that has to go with it because she's, got other things going on and she still has a percentage of dough coming in. So that's not what her priorities are. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. But at the end of the day, also, people on the sidelines hating on a situation that has nothing to do with either one of you. And look, if Trixie's not upset, then why should we all be upset?
Correct. Amen.
Exactly. So let's move on and talk about this Janet documentary, which premiered its 2-night premiere a couple of days ago, last weekend, and brought in 15 million viewers. I don't know if you watched it on A&E or Lifetime. I was watching it on both. So,
yeah.
Because when I missed one, I was like, oh, let me go to Lifetime. Lifetime showed it back to back, so I got to catch up. We got a lot of revelations. Jenna is notoriously private when it comes to her personal life, but we got a lot of revelations, especially about her relationships with James DeBarge, Renee Elizondo, and that fucker, Jermaine Dupri, who cheated on through their second. Also, we learned that, we all knew this, Joe Jackson was controlling, but they loved him. That's their father. And then also, she said that we should forgive Justin Timberlake. So we're also going to talk about that too. And the whole Nipplegate situation. I got my thoughts on that. So stay tuned. But overall, what did y'all think of this 2-part documentary, which took 5 years to put together? I remember what Remy said. I don't know if he changed his mind since then.
No, my mind is still the same. I felt like it took 5 years for this documentary to come out, and I saw nothing groundbreaking come out of it. I thought they were going to be more in depth about the Super Bowl thing, especially since the one that had came out on Hulu, she was so vocal about, oh, that's their perception of the story or whatever. I'm going to tell my story when I tell it. But you told your story, and you didn't really say anything much other than we should exonerate Justin Timberlake for whatever happened. I'm like, okay, some insight, thanks. Yeah, overall, I was like, it was like 40 something minutes each. I felt like I can't get those 3 hours of my life back. I could have skipped, TBH.
Yeah. Listen, I was so excited, and I'm glad I saw it. It's so funny because you guys saw it before me because of work. I couldn't see it live when everyone else did.
Of course.
And it's so funny. What I appreciated, I'm so happy that Remy. Sometimes we talk about certain things that we'll be like, "Oh, girl, don't waste your time watching it. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good." So it's up to you whether you watch it. But I'm like, bitch, I told you. I appreciated that. As I was leaving work, Remy's like, it was nothing. It really was nothing, but you should still watch it because maybe there's something else you would see. And it's like you didn't stop me from not watching the show. But as I watched it, everything Remy said, I was just like, no lie, I already knew everything that you have spoken about has been said already. Like the secret love child and being independent and not wanting to have the Jackson's name, and at one point you wasn't close to Michael. Like we already knew that. I think you should have paid more attention of what happened. She spoke like there was a whole segment which I also I didn't understand too much. I think you should have talked about your upbringing with your brothers, yes, but at one point, like the first 30 minutes of the show, it felt like they was giving a documentary of the Jackson 5, like the boys themselves. And I'm like, at one point,
we didn't need that.
where's Janet? Yeah, and then I left and I came back and I got something to drink and I sat down. I'm still hearing Michael this, and they sold this many records and doing the Vegas thing. I'm like, is this a Jackson 5 documentary or Janet Jackson's documentary?
Right.
Because that
I
could have
agree
been
with
its
that.
own thing. So my thing is like, and then they played that role much more longer. But then when she was talking about how her and Michael like went distance a little bit after her divorce and her album coming out, she only spent like a minute of that. And my thing is like, if you're doing a documentary about your life, that should have been more of the bigger picture than talking about the accolades that the Jackson's 5 had. Same thing with like what I didn't know, which I was happy about that she did touch up on, was how she already knew that Mr. DeBarge was in hardcore drugs, but I didn't know that she was like having a stressful time during Fame. I didn't know. I also didn't know she didn't want to be part of the Fame cast,
Yeah, I didn't know
and
that either.
I had no idea. And then when
I
she
thought
was
that was
walking,
like she auditioned for it and she went and got
yes,
it, but she's saying her father went
agreed,
and forced her to do the
yes,
show. She wanted to go to college and be an entertainment
mhm,
lawyer, but the father
mhm,
was ushering her into being a pop star and stuff.
yes.
So,
And
um,
that looking for him like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning at the age of 17, 18, like those kind of things I loved, but that should have been stretched out more than it should have. So I was like, so like I love that I seen it. Would I watch it again? Maybe on a boring Sunday when I have nothing to do. But for something that took 5 years to me, and I get, you have to put I think Kelly Clarkson interviewed her recently, and they asked her like, "Hey, how did you decide how much to put in, how much to take out?" And she said, it's a lot of stuff to put in. You have to be really cautious with what you're putting in and what you're taking out. And when she said that, I'm like, girl, I'm on the same boat as you. For 5 years worth, you should have put in better content than
yeah.
what we already knew, because
And
you
you
just
want to
They
gave us
also
also
a
had
rendition.
they also had a lot more footage than I expected them to have, like old footage.
Oh
Yeah, because
yes.
they said that her second husband, Renee Elizondo, who she was married to for 9 years, he
Hmm.
filmed so much of
Yes.
their
Yeah.
private life, and which we didn't know about. First of all,
Hmm.
Hmm.
she kept a secret until about the divorce that she was even married to Renee. I thought they were just boyfriend and girlfriend. Like,
Me
I was
too.
aware of Renee, and I
Hmm.
knew those were his hands over her tits because that's old news
Oh
too.
yeah. Yeah,
So
that's old
there
news.
was a lot of stuff, and you know what? The funny thing is, I'm glad y'all went first because I'm gonna mimic your assessment. Like, I love Janet. I'm a huge Janet fan. She is an icon. I love her music. I love watching
Of
her
course.
dance. She is icon through and through. I love Janet more than Michael. I know that's gonna be sacrilege to say to that. Y'all can have that. Not you two, but I'm just talking about those who got a problem with it. I love Janet more than Michael. Sorry, not sorry. But even though he is my we're both Virgos. But anyway. But for the most part, I do feel like we should have gotten more of Janet instead of, yes, I do think you spent way too much time on the Jackson 5. We didn't need all of that. And it was interesting hearing like, people were upset because David Bowie offered Michael and his brother drugs and this and that. I was like, that was the fucking 70s. Everybody was doing drugs in them days. First of all,
And it was just
Michael
weed.
and
And it was
Janet,
just weed.
and it was something in it. They weren't just smoking weed in the days. They put PCP, all kinds of
They
stuff in that.
they said
And
it
then
was just weed.
also,
We're going by that.
Michael went to freaking Studio 54. So, and
Right.
Janet when she was a
Right.
child. So, and y'all know what went. We all know what went down. I mean, we weren't around when Studio 54 was popping because we were old enough, but probably weren't even alive. But for the most part, um, they did all kinds. You saw all kinds of. It was sex, drugs, all kinds of stuff going on up in here. So for y'all all of a sudden driving, oh my God, we need to protect Michael because you were offering him drugs. I'm like, okay, they're both dead. You can't go after
Yeah.
David Bowie. You can't go after Michael. It is what it is. It happened. Let's move on. Um, Jermaine Dupri cheating on Janet. Um, I was shocked over it, but I wasn't that surprised. I'm like, of course, look at Jermaine Dupri. I mean, he ain't a looker, quiet as his cat. So when you get somebody that looks like, and I know we should be making an emphasis on looks, but it's an insecurity thing with a man, and him smirking at the whole thing, oh, I'm just being a man, like with that shit. That's what I think pissed people off about how he reacted to cheating on Janet. But look, if Beyonce can get cheated on, if Halle Berry can get cheated on, if all these other celebrities that are so gorgeous can get cheated on, Janet is not exempt. So it's bound to happen. JD was in his little insecure phase, whatever was going on with him, because he was like, how could a guy that looked like me bag a girl like Janet? And I'm a producer and I'm doing all this stuff. First of all, they didn't even live in the same damn city. He was in Atlanta, she was in LA. Y'all trying to make a 7-year relationship work long distance. That should have been nipped in the bud from year one. But Janet is the type that likes it. She seems like she's someone who is very patient. Like I was, girl, ain't nobody got time to be waiting around for no man. Like that's you being waiting for some man to get out of jail. Ain't nobody got time for that. So that and also, okay, now we need to get to the meat and potatoes, which is, I mean, yeah, when you said the whole thing about Michael and her distancing and how the people within the industry, which is notorious, tried to keep them apart. So people in their own camp, but that happens with girl groups, boy, man groups. There's always somebody in the cesspool of the shit who's trying to come between family members or group members and chirping in the ears like, oh, this was saying this one. Like, there's always that. But the big meat and potato story, let's get to the Super Bowl. So, like what Remy said, I was expecting a whole lot more to be said about the whole Super Bowl situation, and you were hyping it up like, oh yeah, I can't wait, because the way they set this up, like we're gonna get a revelation. I still don't know what the fuck happened.
Right.
Like I'm sitting there while I'm like, okay, so what happened during the performance? Who ripped off whose thing? Was it a thing like based on what we saw from the Hulu documentary? Was there a situation where y'all both were in the room, y'all came up with something real quick and was like, do this, and he got a little overboard and got a little excited because y'all didn't really rehearse it and you ripped off too much? And then her saying the whole thing, I told Justin, we're still girl, y'all ain't friends because you went on Oprah and you said it's something completely different than what you're saying now. Girl, we got internet. Like, I didn't feel like she was
the same one who was in the Hulu documentary.
Wait, say it again?
That stylist that was talking during the Janet Jackson documentary, wasn't he the same one that was in the Hulu documentary? You talked about?
Yes.
He ain't shit. Because he hyped it up too. He was like putting so much emphasis in on the Hulu documentary, and this one he came around, he just wanted to try.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean,
no, it's true.
I don't know if they pay in documentaries, but I think for the most part, he wanted some clout or some attention, whatever the case is. But the whole thing about, oh yeah, let's move on and let's forgive Justin. I love you, Janet, but no, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Because like what EJ said in the comments, production, he was like, I thought about Britney a lot, and I was too. Like when that whole situation happened and Justin's track record, yes, he's like, oh well, I wanted to say something, but she told me not to. Well, that's what she was saying. But I'm like, as a man, I'm still going to speak up. I don't need you to give me permission. Oh, what do I say? I'm not doing that unless Justin's the type that can't think for himself. I'm still going to come out. I'm going to say something. You know what? It is what happened or whatever. But I understand he was more concerned about his career. He was on the rise. The industry was persecuting her. She was disinvited from the Grammys, even though I knew that anyway. Oh, that's another thing I know about. The whole disinvitation from the Grammys. She was supposed to be there. She was supposed to perform, I believe. And then all of a sudden they disinvited her, but you kept Justin. This was in the conversations that we were having on Twitter long before this documentary was even thought out. So for the most part, I'm like, Janet, we knew that. So I just don't understand. Like, they're sitting there, like we're all collectively saying a lot of stuff that was said in the documentary, we kind of all knew. But what do y'all?
Like, because when I saw it on the Lifetime website, so it was broken up into 4 parts, like each section broken up into 2. They could have made it in half. They could have made it a 2-hour documentary and call it a day.
Agreed.
So do y'all forgive Justin?
Listen,
I didn't really have an opinion to begin with.
I mean, listen, you don't have to, but if the person who was a victim forgave, then, we going extra hard for what? We just look like fools. Like, listen, should he have said something? 100%. I'm not taking that away. Could he man up and stop the debacle? 1,000%. He could have. But at the same time as well, you cannot put her fate in her career failing onto Justin Timberlake, because this is bigger than her and bigger than him. Something that Janet did say over the years, like at first, I think all of us were really pissed off because when she did the interview on Oprah, which is why I said, when she's like, oh, forgive, I'm like, that's a little crazy because you guys said you wasn't friends. You guys said that, she even said that she felt hurt because she's like, I thought he was my friend. He should have had my back. But, here's the thing.
She's trying to take the high road.
Also, and that's whatever it is, she said it.
Okay, Michelle Obama.
What I'm trying to say is, well, you can't say that. If that's her feelings too, you gotta give the thing for her feelings. Like I said, you don't have to forgive Justin. You personally don't. But what I'm trying to say is, the man ain't do nothing to you.
I'm being shady, but go ahead.
But no, in the sense of like, listen, you have to remember, all this happened before social media. All of this happened before Instagram and the Snapchat and bloggers, people going live. Yeah. So my thing is, like, everything was based on real media. So either you saw it on The View or you read it on the Post and you let it be and you let it happen. The way this was taken care of was the labels. And listen, you have to remember, and to this very day, it's somewhat still very hard in structure. You know, you can't color your hair, you know, because your label won't allow you to do it. You
Mhm.
can't support certain brands because your label won't allow you to do it. Like the label is very thumb to your neck. So my thing is, what they probably did was told Justin, "We'll take care of it because we don't want you to get in trouble. We don't want you to say the wrong thing. We'll take care of it." What ended up happening was no one really took care of it and allowed this woman to fail in the career where she's so successful. You know what I mean? Like she got blacklisted everywhere, no matter what she
Yep.
was doing, she was being hurt. But if you really look at it, we're painting this man who could have said something. Let's say he did say something. Let's say he said, "My bad, we shouldn't have done it." I have a strong feeling the media still would have attacked her for it. So the only thing we would be getting out of it is we wouldn't be as mad to Justin had he said words, but she still would have failed. My thing is there is no way that Justin Timberlake, because as good as he is, and I think he's great, I don't think he's an iconic artist. Let's be factual. Justin Timberlake is not an iconic artist. Justin Timberlake is
I'm
not a
glad you said it.
I love Justin Timberlake, but he's not that an iconic. Not when I think of iconics, he is not there. Or compare him to Janet. Janet is compared to them two. She's the icon. She is that.
Mhm.
She Madonna, Prince,
Michael.
Janet, Michael, Aretha Franklin. These are icons. Justin Timberlake is a talent. Justin Timberlake makes sales, yes. But so my thing is, can somebody who is not strong enough in the caliber to hold weight still be held responsible for what has happened to Jan? I've said it over the years. Yes, and I always will say he should have said something, but holding him accountable and us holding grudges against him is like, okay, what is that going to do when she still can't win? It's more bodies on her. It's the label. It's the media. It's the men up in those high offices who's trying to keep her down.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, yeah, I'm about to get to that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's a overall, it's the bigger picture. So let's not just look at Justin. Justin is a pawn on the chessboard in all of this, but for the
Yeah,
most part, It's a lot bigger than that. It's
it
the
is.
all the executives behind the scenes and all
Yes,
that good
one
stuff.
thousand percent. Like, why are we
Yes.
not attacking the Grammys? The Grammys disinvited her. It wasn't Justin. Why is Viacom not being in trouble? MTV, because they stopped playing her at one point. The radio station stopped playing her. You know, her label is ready to drop her, not help her with sales. So my thing is like, where are all these attactions coming? Because whenever we think about this, especially this in this situation, anytime we think about Janet and Super Bowl, the villain is Justin. Where's all these high up people who can also drop him whenever they want? Why are they not being blamed for these suits, these men's behind the scenes that no one catches?
But I think it's also, and we're going to wrap this up and get to the Alicia Keys
Oh
thing.
yeah,
I think also with Justin, it's not just the Janet thing; it's the Britney situation. It's the situation that happened with the song that he did, and Marsha Ambrosius was on the background, and there was drama with that song. And there's always been little things where it's a track record of when the shit hits the fan, you go running and
hmm
don't sit around and get in the shits with the people. Take responsibility for your stuff. So yeah, white privilege, all that plays into it. And the mainstream media, they played their part. Les Bouvais played his part and got we saw he got his comeuppance. And now Jeff Zucker, who just recently resigned because he wasn't quite frankly honest about a relationship he was having with somebody over at NBC. He's getting his comeuppance too because there was some shit he was doing over at NBC that
hmm
excuse me, that people have been dragging him for over the years, but he's been able to get away with it. But anyway, so with the whole documentary that happened with Miss Jackson, if nasty, the internet went and dug up an old Janet quote about Miss Alicia Keys. Now, and the quote taken from a 2008 E! News article, Janet said that if she were interested in girls, like if she were to cow with another woman, she would pick Miss Alicia Keys. She said, I always knew I was bae, Alicia wrote in an Instagram post when at Janet Jackson says it, 4 question marks. Make sure you watch our sis, the Icons doc. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to get Alicia Keys laid down with a woman. But nevertheless, that's what she said. So what do y'all think about I was gonna throw in a read when it comes to
That
Alicia
was
Keys and let it
that was
brother.
that was that was shade. That was shade. I thought okay. I'm like okay, all right, Janet. I mean, why not Alicia Keys? I think Alicia Keys is beautiful.
She is. She does
So
look, she definitely
Alicia
gives
Keys is
me femme aggressive from the Bronx.
she was that girl
Or
around her time, so I could see it.
if she were a gay man, she'd be a butch queen. Yeah. But anyway, so that was short and sweet. So let's talk about Madonna. Then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back with a whole bunch of other stuff. But I'm not gonna tell you. Well, I'll tell you after the situation. So Madonna's under fire yet again because some man is trying to police her damn body. So we had 50 Cent. His I won't say the R word. His ass was saying some shit about Madonna. So now we got Nelly, who likes sliding credit cards in women's ass cracks. All of a sudden now got something to say about Madonna. So her latest photo shoot saw her dealing with some car trouble in a series of racy outfits, and the internet is obsessed. Now the pictures show Madonna draped across a car wearing platform heels, sexy lingerie, and an ankle-length jacket bearing the message "God Save the Queen," which of course we know she's about herself. Now, the legendary pop star shared the snaps on Instagram last Friday with the caption "car trouble," along with a series of emojis, and her followers were immediately whipped into a frenzy. Now, the series of snaps have racked up more than 470,000 likes, and fans have rushed to heap praise on the star. The post was flooded with comments, but of course, now, Nelly's coming out saying that she needs to cover up, basically. So, what do y'all think about Nelly all of a sudden trying to tell her how to dress when he knew about his goddamn business? But go ahead.
I just want to know, when did Nelly become the morality police? Him of all people.
Okay.
Like, does he still wear a Band-Aid?
No, I think he moved on from that. Now he out here doing country music.
Well, he needs to.
And competing on Dancing with the Stars. Wait, what'd you say?
No, so that's what he needs to do. He needs to focus on his career instead of worry about Madonna having to cover herself. He should come up with better music, because I haven't listened to Nelly since he had the Band-Aid. Since he had the Band-Aid, so that says a lot.
Yeah, I never really followed Nelly like that. I only followed Nelly because he was all over MTV. But I was never like somebody who listened to his. I was not a Nelly fan and listened to his music. So I'm, at this point, I'm sick. Look, Madonna is going to do what Madonna's going to do. Where the hell have y'all been? First of all, Madonna has been running around butt-ass naked since the 90s. She's 63 years old, going to be 64 in August. She going to show her titties. She going to show that ass she got from Ecuador. Like, leave her alone. Let her expose how she exposes. Let her do what she does, because Madonna's always going to do. And you know what? This motivates her. Like, when y'all talk about her and y'all do all this stuff, and y'all criticize her about being naked and this, that, and the other, Madonna gets off on this. So leave Madonna alone.
Bitch, I'm Madonna.
Exactly.
Bitch, I'm Madonna.
Okay, so on that note, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the big elephant, well, the biggest story of the week, which is Whoopi Goldberg and this whole The View drama, and the Jews are upset over what she said, and people want her fired. Another man McCain, of course, who claims she ain't watched the damn show since she left. All of a sudden had something to say in a Daily Mail blog that nobody reads. But we're going to talk about that and a whole bunch of stuff and what we thought about the whole thing, as well as we're going to talk about Rihanna being pregnant and Garcelle talking about Erika Jayne could do more to show compassion for Tom's alleged victims. So we're going to do all of that. But after that, we're going to take a little short break, and we'll be right back with more Trixie. Oh, we can go. Good.
Get it. Cut.
us together a little show on TV called How It's Made. Oh my god, it's crazy how pretty I am. You're here too. Baby, yeah. You know. I'm from New York, baby. I got it all covered, baby. Baby. I'm a rock star, baby. I got it all covered and figured out, you know? It's because I'm from New York. Yeah.
Denali, should we show them your shoes? Should we show them my shoes?
Yeah, should we show them your shoes?
Yeah, let's get on a plane.
Rose looks like a sugar mommy, somebody said.
I don't...
She's my sugar mommy, and I'm gonna not. Sugar her mommy like it's my mommy's sugar.
We have been together all day, and you have paid for everything.
I did?
I would pay you back, but yeah.
What did I pay for?
The stuff that we got at the store.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
You look
I
really pretty.
know.
We bad. Bring in the panel. Hi baby. Hey Denali. What the hell was that? That was the best. But I was looking for that little video. Where the panel at? Bring him in. So we are back with more drinks and drag. So we gotta definitely get into these gigs. Bring on Remy and Lindsay so we can get right into the tea, which is about my girl, Whoopi Goldberg. Are we ready? What's happening? Oh, we here.
We're here. I was calling my sugar mother, my sugar mama.
Yeah, that was but I was like, oh, that was a cute video. Hey, Rose and Denali. Oh.
Rose looked soft. I was like, who is that? I had no idea that was Rose. I knew Denali, but I'm like, who is that? She's soft.
Not that.
The shade. I don't know what that noise goes. But anyway, so Whoopi Goldberg is under fire for saying that the Holocaust is not about race and it was man's inhumanity to man. So, she went on, she got good, but no worries. So, so the View's Whoopi Goldberg was seen out recently with a jacket emblazoned with innocence one day after she was put on 2-week unpaid suspension for a Holocaust outburst. It wasn't an outburst, but okay. Now, it says that she will lose out on a paycheck, her 2-week paycheck during her suspension from The View. She earns $5 million per year, which after taxes gives her about $40,000 a week. Well, damn, I need that gig. Now, ABC News President Kim Godwin is the one who put her on suspension after the apology that she did. Staffers, according to reports, are embracing the news and have called it a new day at the network. Oh, what y'all trying to say? Whoopi is shady. And they said that we want the women to have robust conversations, but what Whoopi said was not based in fact and was highly offensive. Now, a source has also said that it has been a free-for-all power grab on the panel since 2014 when Barbara Walters left, and that Whoopi and co-host Joy Behar in particular could do and say whatever they wanted. They're saying Whoopi took the news well, but also and did not cause a scene. But the funny thing was, there was another report, and I think it was on the Post. The New York Post was claiming that she was telling people that she's threatening to quit, and she's pissed off about being put on a suspension. So I'm wondering. I know talking about Jewish culture, Judaism, that sort of thing is a hot topic. It is a sensitive subject. So yes, I wanted to get the panel's opinion on, do you think it was justified for Whoopi to be punished for 2 weeks over something that, in my opinion, I felt like the way she was saying it in the conversation when I watched the episode was not coming from a place of malice. Who wants to go first?
I think that it was bound to happen because, like you said, this is a sensitive topic. This is something that is happening in news today. There are people, like Jewish people, getting attacked and getting hate yelled at them for no reason. Like, I don't know if you heard about the kids that got spit on or whatever, like 2 kids by the woman in Brooklyn, and she was
Oh
like,
no.
"Oh, yeah," she was like saying anti-Semitic slurs at them. They're kids. They're like 8 and 9,
Mm.
and she was 21, and she spit in their face and then walked away. She got arrested, but it's like a sensitive subject, and I think that they suspended Whoopi to make an example out of her, much like they do when when Teresa from Housewives had to go to jail. Of course, she was going to go to jail because they wanted to make an example of her. She's a celebrity or whatever. She's not exempt from like Whoopi's not exempt from getting suspended because of whatever. I feel
But
like it was bound
I'm
to
gonna cut
happen.
in on what you're saying for a second because when you hit something that I wanted to bring up before you continue, which was you said that when you compared it to the Housewives, it's funny you said it because I was reading another story where they said that getting suspended from the View is like a suspended from View is equivalent of being suspended from Bravo. Like the bar is very low. So I did see something similar to that. So it's funny how you actually said that. But go ahead, continue.
No, it's just very that. I feel like we know it didn't come from a place of malice, but she said what she said. It caused some controversy, and they just wanted to make an example out of her. They weren't going to let her go scot-free because of it. Now, whether she comes back to the View after these 2 weeks, who's to say? That's a different conversation.
That's
but,
what my thought was.
But as of now, the suspension, I feel like it was going to happen.
Lindsay?
As Remy is talking, I'm trying to figure out a way on how to say things without, me, I got to be cautious, but I always speak from the heart. And these kind of conversations, what really digs me deep into
Well, here,
how we view the
to
world.
that, before you get to that, I just want to say this. So I think with people, if you're going to be watching this, or those who are watching, understand that, you know what, unlike ABC, where you can have a debate or a conversation, which something Whoopi did the next day when she realized she stepped in poo. She brought
Yeah.
somebody on from the Jewish community, and they had a conversation. She apologized. He enlightened people on things. That's where we want to go with that. So it's like, if we're gonna have this conversation, we should be able to have it. And if there are things that we say, there's like, you know what, I don't know if that's necessarily true. There should be no canceling or this, that, and the third. It's like the only way we can get through that conversations or real tough conversations, we have to speak on it and try to understand other people's point of view and where it's coming from. So that's the way I'm trying to come at it. So go ahead.
No, yeah, like going back on it, it's just she didn't deny. Like looking back on it, I reviewed it. I knew what she was saying. She chose to poor words, but where she was trying to get at was a statement that's being done. We are aware that this happened. We are aware, talking about Hitler, talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah, because they call her a Holocaust denier.
Like everything, it did happen. She just poorly chose the wrong word. So, and the beautiful thing about it is that she owned it. She's there for it. And this is coming from someone, Whoopi, who reprimands people for saying the wrong things. But she also knows in what context you're saying certain words. Remember a few years ago when they were talking about the use of the N-word, and Whoopi was like, it depends on how you say it. Some people are like, no, I don't care who says it. And I think that's where the issue lacks on is it's what is it that you're trying to say and what is the use that you're trying to be at, because here it is. Okay, so you suspend her and she's graciously accepting it. I think at this point she's going to accept any punishment she's going to get because she's showing remorse and she's trying to say, listen, I will own it. My bad, that's not what I meant, but it's already been said, so I will take it. But my thing is, I'm going to be careful with what I'm about to say. I want to know the people behind The View and the people behind, what station? What are they on? NBC and ABC. I just want to ABC. I want to know who are the people around it, because I have a strong feeling that people behind this are of Jewish religious background. Do you know what I mean? And they're finding that stigma and that problem. And my thing is, if you're going to reprimand her for it, and she accepts it, then we have to accept it. But then it has to go the same way for anyone else who comes out of their way. Whether, like a couple of years ago, when we had the Atlanta had the reunion, and they were all doing homophobic slurs, and you saw Andy was upset, and he said, you guys are all making gay jokes and whatever, and no one is taking accountability. They just said, oh, sorry. None of them got terminated. None of them got suspended. None of them got a paycheck. And Nene was very sly with it. She said, what do you want me to do? Throw a gay parade? Like, girl, you thought that was funny, but that's rude to me. You know what I mean? When you have certain artists saying, slavery didn't really exist, like, again, I'm not saying terminate and cancel people, but
Yeah.
we have to treat everyone the same. We're doing this to this lady who is owning it. Again, I don't necessarily feel what she was saying was the match with the words that she used, but if she's owning it, then we have to treat everyone the same. And that's the frustrating part, that we let a lot of these other people and other outlets get away with certain things that they're saying. And that's not okay. Or certain quotes, or when they talk about race and topics, like, we let it slide, and that's not okay. So yes, you're setting here an example, but what example is this? Like, where's the end game for this? So you suspend
Yes.
Whoopi now. You suspend her now for 2 weeks. When she comes back, is there going to be a regulation saying we're going to suspend everyone else who comes out of their mouth that same way, whether you meant it or not? Like, where are we going with this?
Mhm.
Only time
You
will
want to
tell.
know something, Lindsay? I live for
Yeah.
you because everything you said, bitch, it was on point. Because I don't know,
Thank
you was like,
you.
oh my god, I got to run. And
I
I'm
did.
supposed
I
to
was
say it
thinking
like you
about
mean
it.
it, and it was like you brought us a very valuable points because that is the big elephant in the room we should talk about. When you said who are the higher ups, because quiet as it's kept, a lot of people who run the industry are of
Yep.
Jewish descent. So when you
1000%.
say that, and there have been people who say the Jews run Hollywood, or you get when you're in trouble, get you a Jewish lawyer and all these other things. These are conversations that are brought up, but when you say it, you're accused of being anti-Semitic. When it's like, do people even know what the word anti-Semite even means? So here's the thing, and bear with me, because I'm going to choose, like you said, you chose your words carefully, I'm going to choose mine. And it's
Mm-hmm.
so loud. But anyway, so when I first learned about, and look, we all have our own issues. We gotta worry about being gay. We gotta worry about being people of color. We have our own, vices that we have to deal with. So forgive a lot of us, especially like a Whoopi Goldberg, who is not well versed on Jewish culture or that sort of thing. So I also thought that being Jewish was sort of about religion. I did not know it
Yes.
had to do with race or
Agreed.
color or any of that stuff. So
Agreed.
you're gonna cancel me for thinking that? I did not know. So now, first, upon educating myself, which is something we should be pushing for people, we should be pushing for educating people who aren't aware. Just like we want on our side when with Black people. Happy Black
Yes.
History Month, by the way. I don't know if y'all aware, but it's Black History Month. 3 days in. When it comes to Black History Month, we want people to be aware of what's going on within the Black community and having that empathy. So I'm giving myself that same courtesy. I'm being empathetic to the Jewish community. I have Jewish
Yes.
friends. I want to
Yes.
learn things about the Jewish community. That's
Yes.
not the top thing on the top of my head because I have other things, like we were saying before, I'm thinking about. But now that we're in the subject, let's have that conversation. Why am I yelling? Okay. So look, race at the end of the day is a social construct. It is something that has been used in a lot of ways to control people. Whether you're black, whether you're gay, whether you're, all these other things. And that old demon, like you point out, Nutmeg McCain, her fake ass outrage whenever it comes to the Jewish community, because she played that bullshit when she was on The View too. And this is where the hypocrisy for me comes in. Where was the same energy when Nutmeg McCain was on The View for 4 damn years and was saying all kinds of stuff? She said the coronavirus,
Yes.
co-signed on that when
Yes.
Trump was out here saying it. And
Yes.
y'all did nothing about it. Y'all, no slap on the wrist, no day. I mean, she would disappear whenever controversial stuff was coming up about her fat fuck of a husband who writes for that stupid ass blog, The Federalist, that nobody would since read. She was out here doing all. So she was out here saying all the stuff that she was saying for 4 years. Where
Yes.
was the slap on the wrist? Where was
Yes.
the suspension? Where was the apology?
Yes.
Where was that energy? It was
Yes.
not there. So therefore, you're canceling Whoopi over something that she said where when I'm listening to her, she didn't say it from a place of being nasty, being negative, being malicious.
Right.
She was
Right.
literally just having a regular conversation. She was like, this is what I thought. Because at the end of the day, Whoopi believed, and this is the way she's looking at it, and yes, she was wrong in it. She looked at it as like, oh, well, when I look at people of color, I can automatically tell who they are, which is not necessarily true. Because you can listen to black people, you can't tell not everybody's black. There's people look at me, don't know what my nationality is. A lot of times people come to me and ask me, what are you? Which I hate that phrase, but I get where they're coming from. So it's like, you cannot always tell. And she did say when she was on Stephen Colbert, and I think this is where it fucked her up. She went on Stephen Colbert the same night, and that was the day before that she brought the guest on for, and did the whole apology thing. She talked about how because I had to write it down before I forget. She went in and brought up that you can't tell someone is Jewish if the Klan is coming down the street. So she was saying that if the Ku Klux Klan was coming at her because they're looking at her because she's black, and then her friend next to her is Jewish, they're not going to go after the Jewish person. They're going to come after her because she is a black woman. Which the guy that she brought on, I forget his name, that brought on the next day, he went on Don Lemon's show and said that's unnecessarily true because at the end of the day, you have to think about it. The Germans, the Nazis, the Aryan nation, the Aryan race, they were all about eradicating everybody and keeping the race pure. That is basically what it was about. So in so many words, what she thought it wasn't about race, to them it was about race. So like when you look at certain things, there's levels, it's complex. And I feel like, you know what, this is the same shit that got Nick Cannon in trouble. And people also need to realize that, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you. That's why I'm glad we got production behind the scenes. You could like fill me in part of my brain. So it's like, when it comes to all these different things, it's like we have to educate ourselves. Look, Nick Cannon got in trouble for the same thing, and we also need to point out, because this is another thing that, you know, Nick Cannon was pointing out, people got in trouble. There are black Jews too. So there are Asian Jews, and you would think Whoopi would know better since her last name was Goldberg. Yes, I know that's not her real name. However, Karen Johnson is the government. But you know, you have to realize that we all come in different hues and shapes and colors and all these different things. Same thing with the Jewish community, same thing with the black community. We all come in different looks.
I love it so much. EJ, if you can you bring up Sailor Moon's comment right now to the screen just so that we can have it?
Yeah, because Sailor Mermaid is going in.
This one is really good. The last one he just posted. I 100%. This is exactly what I was thinking. It's just like I said. I always
wonder how when it's the Holocaust or 9/11, they move in drones, but with slavery and the neo-colonialism happening in Africa, they don't keep that same energy.
1,000%.
I'm about to sip my imaginary tea on that.
Yes, and something that EJ said, I want to say it earlier, and I want to say it now because this goes great with this conversation, where it's like, you know, when we have white people say, I don't see color, well, then keep that same energy for all points of conversations, every single point. Don't say it to benefit you and you want to relate, because then when someone else of color says something that to you may sound not true or wrong or uneducated, keep that same energy. Because like Kris also said, you know, German in the history, they were seeing it as race. But, you know, I see it as religion, because up until now, where there's so mixed variation of people now, people getting in with one another, you know, Jewish people, Jewish descent originally are of white color, which is why in Germany, when they were trying to get their lives saved, they disowned being Jewish, and you know they had to lie so they could move to the Polish areas and anywhere out of.
And
Germany.
a lot of them were trying to pass off as other, so that way they wouldn't be thrown into the gas chamber. Which is also, we should point out that the Nazis would kill those people as well when they found out that you were Jewish and you were passing. Same thing with black people who would look like, you know, that would pass as white. They would go off and they would pass, like they did movies on Alice Haley's Queen. You know, they did a whole bunch of different movies where they would have black women, and Halle Berry played the hell out of that role, by the way. When you had black women who would pass off as, or black people who would pass off as white, so that way they can get certain jobs and they wouldn't be enslaved or they wouldn't be killed and lynched and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of that historical context there, and we could be here for, you know, a million years talking about this. It's a long-winded situation. So the point is to wrap this up, because I'm sick of this cancel culture shit. You know, I always call it accountability culture. When people do wrong, when people are malicious in certain things, they should be held accountable. Whoopi said something, it was a slip up. She stepped in poo, as she likes to say on The View, because she can't say the other word because it's daytime. And she immediately, you know, after the fact, when she realized, oh my God, I said something that was offensive, and I didn't think about it, because like what she said in her mind, when she's looking at it, it's not about race, because she's looking at it from a point of view of, you know, she's 65 years old. She's looking at it as like, you know what, civil rights movement, slavery, being called N-word, all these different things, like the historical context of what she had to endure coming up as a young black woman in the 50s and 60s. So that's so her not seeing what the Jewish community goes, because she can't relate. She's not that. She's looking at it from a point of being black. So
yes.
You telling me that, bitch? Okay. So my point is, where do we go from here? Like, what's the end game? Like, okay, like what Remy said, when she comes back, what does that mean? Like, are you gonna be like, well, you know what? Because the ratings will go through the roof when she comes back. Because they're gonna see what is she gonna say. Is she gonna address it? Like, did she agree with the suspension, or is she gonna be like, you know what? Like, she gonna pull a nutmeg. Oh, I'm gonna be leaving in the end of the week or whatever. Whatever that dumb speech she gave, and then we find out later the real reason why. So I look at it as like, let's not call it accountability council culture. I think for this case, we should call it council culture. So when people step in poo and they don't know what's going on, we need to have a point of, let's bring people in who are well versed on certain subjects and have a situation where we counsel people, educate people, because when we educate, we elevate. You want to try to get rid of stuff, we're not going to learn. You want to fire people over certain things they say, you want to cancel people over things they say, they're not going to learn from that. They're going to continue to be a bigot. And we've seen that happen time and time again. So I don't know. I guess we're wrapping up on that topic.
Yeah.
that was a lot. It was heavy, but we got through it. So on a lighter note, Garcelle Bouvais is speaking out against Erika Jayne.
Weeks.
Well, you know what? It is.
I will still be.
Oh.
Can I tell you, Joy Behard's mood right there is also my mood for all of 2022. The whole thing. Just,
Hey, Nadine. She said she agrees with me. But anyway, I was waiting for Lindsay to say something shady. But anyway, so let's talk about Miss Erika.
Being able to have that banter with my friends. Am I boring you?
I'm sorry. I just swallowed a yawn, but you are not boring.
I want to say that's very. I want to say that's very you, Chris. That's very you. Because you can be so long-winded. We're like,
oh yeah.
Are you like, am I boring you? No, boo. Not at all.
Yeah. So apparently, Erika Jayne isn't doing enough for the alleged victims of estranged husband Thomas Girardi's embezzlement scandal, according to her former pal, Garcelle Bouvais, saying there's so much more that she could do, even if she's not guilty of knowing everything that Tom is doing. This is what Bouvais, 55, argued during Monday's episode of The Real, saying, but this is a way of saying, I have compassion for you, and therefore take the jewelry, take the earrings, take the necklace. Now, co-host Adrienne Bailon, who was 38, agreed, saying, if I knew this information and I had those diamonds, I would not want those diamonds. She also added, I would not be able to sleep at night knowing I had diamonds and they were paid for with money that was robbed from innocent families. And I know also they brought up, what was it, that apparently during the birthday party episode that Garcelle and them filmed for the upcoming episode of the Beverly Hills Housewives. And Lonnie was there and Adrienne was there. I think the other girl, the Asian, what's her name, Jeannie, she was on maternity leave or might have been going through possibly having the baby during that time, or probably just had the baby and was being a mother. So she was, I don't think she was there. But they also said that Erika said, the people that believe her apparently are not her own kind. And she basically insinuated that black people believe her. So apparently, we love criminals until y'all guilty. Because we've seen it with R. Kelly, we've seen it with Bill Cosby, and that other documentary they got coming out. I guess we're gonna see it with Don Cornelius too, because they're allegedly out here drugging and raping Playboy bunnies, allegedly. So so Garcelle said what she said. What do y'all think?
Well, for starters, I don't even know who Don Cornelius is. That's just
the lead from Soul Train. He created Soul Train. And
got it. I'm young. I'm only 16. No. So, I agree. I feel like the route that Erika is taking, she could show more compassion. She's obviously I don't know if she's not saying anything or like reaching out because it's still an ongoing investigation and she doesn't want to kind of like self-incriminate herself or whatever the case is. But I do think that because the route she chose was very much, well, I'm still going to work. I'm still got to get a coin because at the end of the day, I got to support myself. So I'm still going to do what I got to do. I don't think she chose the best route, but at the same time, I mean, what can you say? She's going to do what she has to do. Now, on top of her saying that was Erika that said that the only people who believe that she's innocent are of those who are not her own kind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm definitely not her own kind, and I don't believe her. But
I got questions. This is for the upcoming season. The birthday party.
Remy is
Exactly.
concerned. Now Remy's concerned. Remy's like, wait, I got questions.
I got questions. No, you were saying that this is being the birthday thing was for this upcoming season.
Yeah, they said that they shot the birthday episode, Garcelle's birthday party. I think that's when she got COVID from too.
Okay.
I believe that was the tea. But yeah, they said that they shot at, and then Cherie, Will Smith's first wife is on this season coming up. And then yeah, they shot there, and then she went and said too, because they mentioned this on The Real, how she came over to them, Adrian and Lonnie, and mentioned that. Like, who actually believes me in this whole thing is not my kind, and pointing to her skin, and making it seem like, oh, because you run a bunch of sisters, that they actually believe. I said, girl, okay, number one, that's racist. Number two, I know you trying to come from, oh, you down with it, but your intent, I really want to like Erika, but Erika, I'm starting to put her where I used to put Teresa, and then made me fall in love with Teresa again when we talked about it when she did Ultimate Girls Trip. I started to like Teresa again, but this relationship with Louis, by the way, sidebar, I ain't feeling it. Can y'all tell me, wait, sidebar, before we get to the rest of the story, what the hell is the video that they was referring to in this episode? I still don't know what's going on.
It's a nothing. I think they're making something. They're literally making something out of nothing. The video is not as scandalous as these ladies are saying. It's just him amongst other men. But I mean, you go to a beach, you go somewhere.
So they're trying to imply he might be gay.
Yeah, that's the implication.
Okay. So yeah,
can you win?
But I really like Erika, but I just feel like with her, I do agree with her. She needs to show more compassion. She did not give me that in this previous season, which turned me off from her. How she would continuously go and be like, "Oh, I'm hurting right now. I don't have any money." And all these, girl, get a fucking job. Like, go into the studio, make them little corny ass West Hollywood boppity bop songs that you make, and do a split at some gay club and get some coins, and then live off of that and get your little housewives money. Shave down the prices you got on them $700-800 wigs that you trying to sell over there, or the wig pieces that you like. Girl,
upset.
Who buying that?
I'm upset. I was actually going to purchase it because I do love.
She's trying to be damn $800 for that.
And I was like, let me support, because she's gonna need the money, and the extensions don't even come with the clips, so it's like it's a DIY, do it yourself, and it's like $1,200.
So you gotta sew it in.
I exit out. You can sew it in or make the clips yourself. And my thing is, like, when I buy my extensions and my clips, girl, the clips are in there. I make sure the package brings the clips.
And
okay, so I'm gonna pay $1,200.
Yeah, no, not to put your own clips on some hair that may or may not be human.
Because I heard the back end of this story, which is why the hair extension is not doing well. They're all like rejected hair from a few other brands. So it's no bueno. But you know what? I'm good with that. Yeah, listen. See, now where's the accountability for that? Like, what are we gonna do with her for saying this? Like, even when you do this, like, what are you saying? What are you implying? But Garcelle, listen, Garcelle has stayed true, and I don't want no one to manipulate anything she's saying. So I remember at the reunion, that's what Lisa was trying to do a little bit. Erika was trying to do a little bit. Listen.
Yeah, and I heard sidebar, she and Lisa have fallen out too. Probably because that storyline is waning, and Lisa needs a new ass to latch herself onto.
It is. But listen, Garcelle is one of those true people, those true friends, and we were just talking about this not so long ago with Remy. And my thing is, like, no one wants like a Dolores and Teresa. Like, I don't want you straight up kissing my ass and saying I'm always right, or I'm always going to kiss your ass and always say that you're right. My thing is a true friend like Garcelle, where it's like, listen, I'm a ride or die for you. I'm here for you, but I'm going to call you out if I don't see something is right. And something she said from beginning to end is she never said that she doesn't believe Erika. She doesn't say that Erika is lying about anything. What she's always said from if you rewatch all of last season and watch the reunion, and she stayed true to what she's saying, what she is upset about is that Erika is lacking empathy and not filling in the story all its way. You're only getting little snippets of stuff that doesn't make any sense. That's all she's saying. And she's still saying empathy. Where are you feeling bad? Like Teresa, she came back from prison, and when you watch the reunion, like 4 years later, and every time they show clips of her coming back to see her daughter, you see the tears in Teresa's eyes. You see the struggle that Teresa's going through. You see that she still feels bad. And when Portia swung the hair at Kenya, you know, she was mad at one point, but she was remorseful. Or when she did what she did with Phaedra towards Candy, she was remorseful. That one season, remember the season where she went and when Nene came back, that's the year Nene finally came back, everybody was treating Portia bad and she was owning it. She was like, well, listen, if this is what I have to do to come back and be good with people and fall in their graces, I'm gonna own it. And Erika is not giving that at all. I don't know if it's a pride, I don't know if it's an Erika thing, I don't know if it's the queens who gassed her up over the years, but she 100% lacks empathy, even to the point where she has said herself in the reunion when they're like, you don't feel bad? This is her. And I'm matching the hair. Oh, perfect. Look, I didn't even know we were gonna do the stage. This would be her. I don't feel bad. And how do you think I feel?
That's exactly, you are giving, you know.
I am feeling bad.
See, now, I was thinking, if you were to do Snatch Game on a Drag Race, you would do Erika Jayne proud.
I said for Halloween, or if I ever do a birthday with I want to do either a birthday or Halloween of the whole, I told this to Remy, Housewives franchise. Everyone dresses up as a famous housewife. I think I would do Erika, just because she's more costumey, and I have tons of blonde wigs. So it'd be fun.
And I would do Lisa Rinna doing blackface.
You get, girl, that's not acceptable. No. Let's move on. I'm not dealing with you. Let's move on. What else do we have?
Yes. Wrapping it, you know, I just had to throw it in there. But anyway, so to wrap up the show, but before we're about to wrap up the show, but before we do, I just want to give two congratulations to two big celebrities who got buns in the oven. So Rihanna gagged everybody earlier this week when we found out that Miss Thing is pregnant with her first child with rapper A$AP Rocky. Now, the couple was photographed out in New York City over the weekend when Rihanna debuted her baby bump while wearing a long pink jacket. Her oversized outerwear was unbuttoned at the bottom to reveal her growing bump adorned in a gold cross with colorful jewels. Now, one of the sweet photos, which were snapped in Harlem. Girl, you was in my neighborhood. Remy did say that looked like Harlem. Didn't you say that?
Sure did.
Yes, he did.
I know.
Mm-hmm. He said he lives at that looked like 125th Street, so you might have been right. You probably are right. So it said A$AP Rocky grew up. Well, he basically grew up in Harlem. I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either. Wow.
The rapper kisses the soon-to-be mom on the forehead as they enjoy a snowy walk outdoors, and I did see that they had the memes with Drake looking at his phone when he found out that Rihanna was pregnant, and then they had the little hot sauce of the condom. So I saw there was that one, and then and then the Chris Brown. You know, we had that Chris Brown story. We had to cut that. It was a little too much going on, but it is. Oh yeah. Harlem is very identifiable. So congratulations to them with and then last but certainly not least, the Brat and her fiance, because y'all keep saying girlfriend, are expecting their first child together.
I'm so happy.
And so the Brat took to Instagram to reveal we are extending the family. So congratulations to them. So Monday was a big reveal about maternity. So what do y'all think?
I also did a reveal on Monday.
A gender reveal? You coming out as non-binary?
No. Hello. Clearly you have not been watching my stories, but you've been watching the Kylie Minogue post I've been doing. No, I've announced
That's
that
true. I did like it.
I too am expecting with Bad Bunny's child. I just want you to know.
Oh yeah. Wait, I did see that. And then you posted the picture of you and Bad Bunny with y'all put your hands on Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. But see, I saw it.
Yeah.
Lindsay is pregnant, bitch. But anyway, so congratulations to them both. Yes, I know. I hear the little buzzing that's going around in the background. But anyway, Remy's having some issues with his audio. But anyway, on that note, we are done with the show. The show was crazy. It was entertaining. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of heavy, hot topics, but we got through it. We made it through the wilderness, somehow we made it through But anyway, so without further ado, thank you all for tuning into this long-winded episode of Drinks and Drag.
Yes. And I just want to say also, stay tuned for Monday. We will be dropping a Valentine's episode, so that should be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in on the 14th.
And not only that, but make sure you guys have your little pink drinkies, drink a little rosé, whatever, and drink along with the show because it's gonna be messy. We're gonna be talking about a lot of sex, a lot of relationships. It's gonna be not safe for work, so definitely don't be watching that. But overall, thank you all for watching. All of you, thank you. Click like, subscribe, tell your friends, share, do all that good stuff. Once again, thank my fellow panelists. You guys are awesome. Myself, Remy, Lindsay. Until next time, ciao, darling.
Bye. Love you.
You can see me through credit.
Oh, no, Khloe. Oh. Twitter reacts to Khloe Kardashian's hand, called it a chicken foot hand. It does look cold to the touch. Like the kind of hand, if she tries to grab you with it, you immediately go, unhand me! Get your wretched paws off me, vibing! Get your benevolent, deathly cold, icy grip off me! When I first saw the hand, I thought that was Queen Elizabeth's hand. She got that hear ye hand. Come hither. This should be irrefutable evidence that she is not O.J. Simpson's daughter. Not with that whites only hand. That hand refused to be brown. That is the Game of Thrones hand that said winter is coming. She got the hand of a White Walker.
Oh, get it away from me! Take it! Take it!